Hey there, welcome to Vocal Rangers. This is David Patton, back again for another episode. So, today what I'm going to be discussing is volume. Now, I'm not just going to be talking about the gain on your interface or your digital audio workstation. I will kind of mention that a little bit, but this is mostly about your own volume, how to project that to the microphone to get the best output that you can. And there's a little more that goes into this than you might think. It's not just about getting loud. Part of it is going to be placement of the microphone. You want to make sure whether you're using like a scissor arm style mount like I've got, or if you've got a desktop boom mount or stand-up boom mount, that you want to be able to keep a consistent distance from the microphone. Basically, you just want to make a Y with your hand. That's a good way to measure, and put one end either on your lips or side of your mouth, wherever you want to measure from, and to the front of the microphone. Now, you do that to keep a consistent distance. So I know I'm going to be that far from the microphone. And so when I come back to it, if I need to take a break, get up for whatever reason, I can come back to it and know how far I am from the microphone. So that way, once all the gain is set, I don't have to worry about my placement and changing my volume to match or readjusting the gain, anything like that. I can just do a quick measure and go. So once we get the distance set, what we want to do is make sure we're not just talking to the microphone, but rather through the microphone. If someone was that close to you and you're talking to them, it gets really quiet. They can't hardly hear you. You probably can't hardly hear me. Ideally, you want to talk like you're talking to someone 4 or 5 feet away. And you want that to be a very controlled talking. So what you can do is you want to breathe from your diaphragm. Take deep breaths in. Take deep breaths out. But you want that breath to be controlled. If you don't have that breath controlled, you're going to be letting a lot of extra air off on any of the voiceless consonants, especially any Fs. That there's going to be that extra gust of air. The WH is another one. You don't want that big breath of air blowing there. H's can be bad about that too. TH in certain circumstances when it's voiceless, it can have that puff of air that goes with it if you're not careful and controlled. So what you want to do is you want to take that deep breath from the diaphragm, relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your back, keep your neck relaxed, but keep that diaphragm and your abs tight. You don't want to be straining them, but use those muscles to push the air out. You're breathing from the diaphragm, not from the chest. That'll ensure you get a really good deep breath, and it will let you have that extra push of air, and it will let you keep that air controlled. You won't be hunching over and getting closer to the mic as you exhale. You won't be trying to squeeze your chest to get that last air out, which is going to constrain your throat, and it's not going to push the air fully out, and your voice is going to sound just bad. When you get that breath from your diaphragm, it needs to be a nice, controlled, steady output. You don't want this big rush all pushing it out at once. You're not shouting halfway across a house. You're talking just past the microphone. So it's pretty simple. Deep breath in and talk on the exhale, but keep it a nice, steady, controlled exhale. If you are still having problems with extra breaths, especially with those voiceless consonants, if you're having any problem with air pushing and just making a sound in the microphone, then another thing you can do is get slightly off axis. You still want the microphone in front of you. Like if I'm doing a plane with the plane my mouth is on, it is behind the microphone, and the microphone is pointed directly at my mouth. So you want that so that you're still talking into the microphone, and you're not going to get that off-axis rejection. You're not getting it bouncing off of a wall and into the microphone. Because especially in a good treated room, you're not going to get a lot of volume that way. If you're in front of the microphone, you can probably barely hear me. I can barely hear myself. So you want to sit up, good posture, relax shoulders, relax back, relax neck, relax stomach, facing forward directly at the mic. Or you can change slightly off axis if you're having any issues with plosives or extra wind with the voiceless consonants, or if you're doing something like this where you're doing a video where you don't want big headphones on, just a little something to monitor your volume. You don't want any big microphone or pop filter in your way, so be slightly off axis, but still keep the microphone in front of you. So that's the basics of it. Now, there's a few things you can do to help improve your breathing technique. One of the biggest things you can do is go lay down. And I'm not joking with that. You go lay down flat on your back, arms down by your side. If it helps, put your hands on your stomach. Close your eyes and just relax and breathe in and breathe out. What you're doing there is getting used to breathing from your stomach as opposed to with your chest. And it's certainly a really simple thing you can do, but it does help, especially in the beginning, to get used to breathing with your stomach. And there are other exercises you can do to really improve like lung capacity, controlling your breathing, but this is one of the biggest things you can do to start with, is just get yourself used to breathing with your diaphragm as opposed to with your chest. Keep your posture good, relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your chest, and breathe deeply. I know I'm repeating the same information over and over, but it's one of the biggest foundations for being able to speak properly. And once you can get that constant stream of air, that lets you go scoot back and still have a nice constant stream of air, and I'm still talking directly into the microphone. I still have that nice natural sound, and I still have enough volume to where I'm not going to have any issues in editing with it being too quiet and too close to the noise floor. And it also lets me get up right close to the microphone, almost right up on top of this pop filter, and I can still have a nice clean sound without having extra breaths of air, without having a bunch of plosives coming in, just by having that nice controlled breath. And so that's a few examples of what controlled breathing and proper breathing technique will let you do as you learn how to do it. Now, just knowing how to breathe is not going to set you up on a surefire way to becoming top name in voiceover. It's going to take a lot of work, but this is a foundation to build upon. This is one of the things that if you can't do this, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to really make it as a voiceover artist. And the same goes with any type of musician. Like if you're singing, if you can't properly control your breath, you're not going to be able to make it very well as a singer, because you're not going to be able to have that nice, clear, natural sounding voice. So there's a lot of things that build on being able to really control your breaths, control that steady outflow of air. You don't want it all in a big rush. You don't want it too constrained off. You really, and I know I'm kind of exaggerating on those, but you really just want to have that nice, natural flow of air. You want it to resonate in you. When you speak, you want just a very natural tone of voice, and you're not going to get that without proper breathing. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, let me know you liked it. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing more tips on how to improve your voice to become a better voice actor. And if you have something that you want me to work on, or if there's just something you want to see, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below, and I'll try to make a video on that. Thanks.